Do you feel like your way of thinking is different from most people your age? Do people seem to seek out your advice when they are unsure of something or have problems? People often associate being mature with age, but that's not always the case. There are plenty of young people who act more mature and wise than adults. It's simply about the way we think and behave, not our chronological age. So, how do you know if you have reached a level of true maturity? According to science, these are the top 13 signs that indicate you are a mature and wise person. Click the like button, subscribe, and let's get started. Number 1. Your choices are based on your character, not feelings. Do you find that you make most of your decisions based on logic and reason? People who are mature typically think with their head instead of their heart. They know that just because they feel something doesn't make it right. Instead, they base their choices on who they want to be as a person and the type of character they want to have. This doesn't mean that you don't ever follow your heart. You probably do sometimes, but for the most part, you know that making decisions based on your feelings can lead to trouble. Number 2. You are open-minded. In order to be wise, you have to be open-minded. This means that you are willing to hear other people's opinions, even if they differ from your own. You know that just because someone has a different opinion doesn't make them wrong. It's okay to agree to disagree. Open-mindedness also means that you are willing to change your own opinions if you are presented with new information that makes sense. You don't cling to your beliefs just because they are what you have always believed. This is the difference between being closed-minded and open-minded. Number 3. You are patient. Most mature and wise people have learned the value of patience. They know that good things come to those who wait. They don't try to rush things or force things to happen before they are ready. Patience also means being able to control your emotions. You aren't easily angered or upset. Even when things don't go your way, you are able to maintain your composure. This is actually a skill that can be learned with practice. If you want us to make a video about how to become more patient, let us know in the comments below. Number 4. You listen more than you speak. If you think about it, the wisest people are usually the ones who don't say much. They know that it's better to listen than talk. When you listen, you learn. You also give other people a chance to be heard, which can be very rewarding for them. Listening also shows that you care about others and their opinions. Studies have shown that people who talk more than they listen are actually less liked by others. So if you want to be more liked and respected, start listening more. Number 5. You keep long-term commitments and promises. Do you find that you always keep your promises? When you make a commitment, do you see it through to the end? People who are mature and wise are usually very reliable. They don't make commitments they can't or don't intend to keep. If you have a hard time keeping your promises, it might be because you are making too many of them. Start by only making commitments you know you can keep, and you will find it's easier to follow through. Let's face it, we all know how frustrating it is when someone doesn't keep their promises, so don't be that person. Number 6. You don't need other people's attention or approval. As your level of maturity increases, you will find that you don't need other people's attention or approval as much. You are confident in who you are and don't feel the need to seek validation from others. Of course, there is nothing wrong with wanting attention or approval from time to time. We all do. But if you find that you are constantly needing it, it might be a sign that you are not as confident as you could be. Work on building your confidence and you will start to feel better about yourself. Then you won't need the attention or approval of others nearly as much. Number 7. You are self-aware. Being self-aware means that you are aware of your own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. You know your strengths and weaknesses. You know what makes you happy and what doesn't. Self-awareness is key to being a mature and wise person. It allows you to make better decisions because you know yourself well enough to know what will work for you and what won't. Most mature and wise people have a good level of self-awareness. They know themselves well, and they use that knowledge to make better decisions. Number 8. You're not afraid to admit when you're wrong. Do you find it hard to admit when you're wrong? Or do you have no problem admitting it? People who are mature and wise are usually not afraid to admit when they are wrong. They know that everyone makes mistakes and that there is no shame in admitting it. In fact, admitting when you're wrong shows that you're confident enough to admit your mistakes. This also means that you are willing to learn from your mistakes. You don't make the same mistake twice because you know that it's not worth it. Number 9. You can handle criticism well. Most people get defensive when they are criticized, but people who are mature and wise know how to handle criticism well. They don't get defensive or take it personally. Instead, they use it as a learning opportunity. They listen to the criticism and then decide if there is any truth to it. If there is, they use it to improve themselves. So, if you are someone who gets defensive when you are criticized, work on taking it less personally. It's not about you, it's about the other person's opinion. And if there is some truth to what they are saying, use it to your advantage. Number 10. You're not a people pleaser. Being a people pleaser means that you always put other people's needs above your own. You feel like you have to say yes to everything and you don't want to disappoint anyone. While it's important to be considerate of other people, mature and wise people know that they need to put themselves first sometimes. They know that they can't make everyone happy all the time and that it's okay to say no sometimes. If you find that you are always putting other people's needs above your own, start setting some boundaries. Learn to say no when you need to. And don't feel guilty about it. We have made a whole video about this topic. You can check it out after this one. Number 11. You're independent. Being independent in this case means that you are not codependent. Codependency is when you rely on someone else for your happiness. You might be in a relationship where you feel like you can't live without the other person. Or you might have a friend who you are always with and you can't imagine your life without them. While it's great to have close relationships, mature and wise people know how to be independent. They know how to be happy without someone else. They are not codependent and they don't rely on others for their happiness. This does not mean that they don't have close relationships. It just means that they are not defined by those relationships. Number 12. You're not afraid of change. In a recent study, it was found that the fear of change is one of the biggest fears people have. This is called a hidden fear because we don't always realize that we are afraid of change. But when you think about it, most of our fears are related to change in some way. We are afraid of change because it means that something will be different and we don't know how to deal with that. Mature and wise people are not afraid of change. They know that change is a natural part of life and they embrace it. They are adaptable and they can deal with change well. Number 13. You don't hold grudges or get jealous. Ask yourself, do you hold grudges against people? Or do you let things go easily? People who are mature and wise know how to let things go. They don't hold grudges because they know that it's not worth it. Holding a grudge only hurts you in the end. It doesn't do anything to the other person. Mature and wise people also don't get jealous. They know that jealousy is a negative emotion and they don't want to feel it. Instead, they concentrate on their own lives and rejoice in the success of others. Final thoughts. As you can see, maturity and wisdom are not things that you are born with. They are things that you develop over time, and we can't mess with them with age either. The fact that you made it to the end of this video shows that you already have one of these 13 signs. Can you guess what it is? That's right, you are patient, which is one of the most important key ingredients of maturity and wisdom. You should be proud of yourself. Now, be honest with yourself. How many of these 13 signs do you have? Leave an honest answer in the comments section below. And it doesn't really matter if you can relate to just a few of them or even just one. The most important thing is that you are aware of these signs and you are consciously working on becoming the best version of yourself. Now, click the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. It will show you how to change your life in only 6 months. Make sure to watch it now. Thanks for watching.